Hummus is one of those really easy dips to make, and this recipe, it's going to be so much flavour. I'm using a can of chickpeas, which I've just rinsed, so they're already cooked, and they're great actually in a curry. If you've seen my chicken korma recipe with some really nice corn-fed chicken, sweet potato, I put in a can of chickpeas. Obviously I rinsed them out. That's what I've done. This is going to go into the food processor. So that's the first thing we need to do. Then we're going to get lots of flavour. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about some of the spices. This is a super spice. It's a harissa spice. Really beautiful. It's part of the Simply Better collection. It's all organic. The company is Oko who make them, and they're fantastic. Really nice, sprinkled over some chicken breast, pork chops, mixed with some butter, with some fish. Now it is spicy, so just be very careful how much you use. I really like their mild curry powder, and I've used it in lots of my recipes. So I'm literally going to put in roughly about 1/4 teaspoon. There's a bit of a kick to that. You can put fresh chili into it. I'm not, but you certainly can. But I think this is a great little spice to have in your kitchen cupboard. 2 cloves of garlic, just literally peel them. They're going to go in there. So they're not too big, they're not too small. That's going to go in there. Cumin. I don't use an awful lot of cumin, but one thing the cumin works really well with, excuse me, is some carrots. So if you cook some carrots with some cumin, it works really, really well. So roughly about a large pinch. You don't want too much, because you can overpower it with the spices too. Right, smoked paprika, I do love this. And I love this, mixed in with butter, with pasta. You've seen me using this in a lot of my recipes, and it's really gorgeous. That lovely smoky smell and flavour is gorgeous. So be generous with this. Okay. Basil. We have some beautiful fresh basil. I just picked up some of the plants there, so they're worth having in your kitchen. Really do like basil. You could use coriander, you could use parsley, whatever. And this time of year, basil is starting to grow. This is some wild rocket, and I'm going to serve this on top of the smoked salmon and on top of the lovely hummus. Now, what I want to talk to you about is these lovely red peppers, or roasted peppers. You've red and yellow. So these are cooked over charcoal. They're part of the Simply Better Italian collection, and they're absolutely delicious. And that beautiful oil, see that lovely oil? We're going to use that. That's extra virgin olive oil. So I'm literally going to lift this, and I'm going to put 2 of these in here. I might as well use 1 red and 1 yellow. Look at that. Now I've used these in quite a few recipes. They keep really well, and they're lovely as an antipasta. So be generous with the oil, because there's loads of flavour in there. So beautiful. Now traditionally when you make hummus, this is an ingredient that they put into it. Okay, it's called tahini paste. It's just literally blended, ground down sesame seeds. I use it sometimes. I don't use it a lot at home, to be truthful with you, but I am going to put in a couple of spoonfuls. So this is what it looks like here. So it gives a really lovely, and I love the flavour of sesame, so I do. So if you don't have this, a little bit of sesame oil will work wonderful, really well. So, I think the secret is getting as much flavour in here, and it's kind of soft. See the way it just drops from the spoon? So I'm going to put in 3 spoonfuls in there. Okay, salt, a little bit of pepper, and really important, some lemon. So I'm going to use this. So this is my Oriole sea salt. So again, it has the PGI logo, part of the Simply Better collection. It's a fine sea salt. So it's a really, really beautiful product, so it is. So in Clogherhead, I got to visit the producer, went down there, saw the whole process. It's really interesting. Some black pepper, and then I'm going to put some lemon zest and some lemon juice. The beautiful thing about this hummus is that you can make it ahead and it keeps. So using my microplane, my grater, just sit it on the actual blender. Watch the fingers. And then we're going to grate this. I love lemon. And it gives so much freshness. So I'm just going to cut this in half. And then using my little juicer. So this is a great little thing to have in your kitchen, like if you're juicing. And it's part of my cookware collection, so it is. I love this. We use them in the cookery school. I just think they're such a great little thing. If I'm cooking fish, just a little squeeze of lemon juice, it's brilliant. Okay, so this is going to go in here. I can't see any seeds, so that's great. Plenty of lemon juice. Salt and pepper in there, basil in there, you could use coriander, and then just literally a couple of spoonfuls of water. Don't want it too runny, we can always add more. Okay, it's going to be a bit noisy, we're going to blend this. You can do this in a NutriBullet. So the lid goes on, turn it on. So the food processor is doing all the work. I think it needs a little bit more. If you're just looking closely here, and you can just see there's a little bit of texture there. I'm going to blend it a wee bit more here. That's perfect. Okay. Just let it blend away. As I said, it is noisy. So we would serve a variation of this. I'll actually get a spoon and I'll show it to you, Melda. That's it there. So you can see that lovely. I think really the key for me is the roasted peppers. The char grilled peppers is definitely the big flavour. You could use sun-dried tomatoes too. Now you can keep this in a Kindler jar. I'm going to serve it up now in a moment. We serve this in the restaurant, so when our guests come into the restaurant, they're having a little pre-dinner drink. We would serve this with little kind of like puff pastry cheese straws. So you can see the texture. Now if you want to get it really smooth, you'd pass it through a sieve. I wouldn't. Food sometimes is so much about flavour obviously, but texture too. So it'll keep really well, so that's more than enough. So that's a full can of chickpeas. So you get good yield from it. Okay, next thing we're going to do, we're going to slice some of these beautiful tomatoes and then we're going to serve up. I'm going to show you what we're going to put it with. So I'm going to slice these nice and thin, just using the point of the knife. Okay, and these are these lovely little cherry vine tomatoes. So I'll do one with tomatoes and then I'll just leave one plain. You could serve it with baby spinach, you could serve it with some goat's cheese. So what do we put it on? It's lovely with crackers. Really, really nice with some of the Simply Better Italian flatbreads, the little kind of like breadsticks too. But what I've done over here is some sourdough, and I want to give you a wee tip. So this is sourdough. One of our chefs, Amy, she's a wonderful little baker, so she's made the sourdough in the restaurant, and what we do is we just literally make it every day, and what I did was bring it up, slice it, and then I just grilled it, drizzled it with some oil. But a wee tip for you, using the griddle pan, I actually put the saucepan like that on it, so it got a really, really nice kind of a grilled mark, if you can see that there. So that's perfectly what I want. It's nice and crispy. So you don't have to use sourdough. You can use ciabatta. You can use lots of different breads, whatever you prefer. You can put this onto a bagel. Okay, this is one of my food heroes, Brigitte. She's from the Burren Smokehouse. So this is her organic Irish salmon, and this is done with honey and dill. So she's a wonderful producer. We use her smoked salmon in the restaurant. So we do it for breakfast and for other different dishes, and she's wonderful. So it's sliced, comes like that. Just open the packet. And again, you can just serve this very natural plain, but it's so consistent. Like the way she smokes and produces her salmon, it's an excellent product. And she's a really passionate producer. So she is. And I love people who are very passionate. So she's a winner of the Blas na HÉireann, which is one of the most iconic and respected food awards we have in Ireland. So what I'll do, everyone, is I'll just do one with the smoked salmon and one with the tomatoes, and we'll just mix it up a little bit. There's no set way. So the secret is crunch, texture. That's what you're getting from your bread. So if I just bring over the bread here and just literally spoon it on, and kind of just be generous. It's very rustic, very simple. Even like that, you're going to get so much flavour, guys. You could, with the peppers, slice them into little strips, because there still is some more there, and put them on top. Goat's cheese, that kind of thing, works really, really well. And then we'll do this one here. So the sourdough, I'm just literally for about a minute either side or less. I had it on a really high heat and then reduced it just on the griddle pan here. Okay. So we'll do one with the tomatoes. Just arrange them like that. Cherry tomatoes. You can use the large tomatoes. So just arrange this. So these lovely little cherry vine tomatoes, that's them there, Melda. So little plum ones. They're gorgeous. So you get lots of flavour, lots of texture. And the whole thing about this recipe is that it's fast, it's quick, it's doable. This hummus will keep in your fridge, and I would definitely keep it in the fridge for easily up to a week, which is great. Now with the smoked salmon. So what we're going to do, so this is it here, it's really, really lovely and moist. So I'm just going to literally overlap this. Okay, 2 little slices, they're perfect. So it's all organic, arrange that there. What I like, and this isn't essential, but because we have sesame seeds in the hummus, some lovely toasted sesame seeds. Just a little bit on top, just for a little bit of texture. I'm a big fan of the sesame seeds. Okay. Now you're ready to serve. Our rocket, always dress your salad. I'm just going to use a little bit of rapeseed oil. I think there's enough flavour. You could use some vinegar. You could use a little bit of lemon juice. And then this is just going to go on top. So this is Wild Rocket. I love this. A little bit on top of the tomato. Again, you can use some different cheeses if you want to. And then our beautiful Simply Better smoked salmon. So that's a really, really quick recipe. Just to recap. Blending the chickpeas with the roasted red peppers, lemon juice. We put garlic into that. We put some basil into that. And we put the oil from those beautiful peppers. Smoked paprika. A little bit of harissa. And this is a great spice, but there's a bit of a kick. And then we use cumin. And that's it. A little bit of water. Blend it all together. And I think that is a lovely dip. And I forgot to say that you can serve this just if you toast some pita bread and cut it into small little strips. Enjoy it. So I hope you try this recipe. Remember, all my recipes will be on the restaurant, McNeena House Restaurant Facebook. So you can look up the video again on my Instagram, but the recipes will be there. And happy cooking, and thanks for all the great feedback. I hope you'll try this recipe. It's quick. I think it's very tasty. And yeah, I just think it's a real winner. So thanks a million, guys. Happy cooking.